Hi people, welcome back to another video. This one we are talking about a lot and we're talking about a lot of stuff which is quite good. We are looking at Cardano ADA and of course you can see on your screens right now that Cardano today is looking great. If we look at Cardano over the past 3 days actually, things are looking pretty fantastic. Let's move out to those 5-day charts. We can obviously see things are really picking up over the past few months actually, and obviously right now we're coming very close to touching new highs for Cardano, which is fantastic. So again, if we look at this one recently, we can see that over the past 3 or 4 days, we're seeing consistent green on the charts. This is great. This is fantastic. It is where we really want to be with Cardano. If we can look to my awareness, we can see that the highs that we saw weren't too far off where we are right now. And obviously, with the amount of growth that we are seeing, with the amount of stable growth that we are seeing, in opposed to rush growth, which happened really quickly last time, we can see Cardano is picking itself up, and things look like they could definitely be passing, the previous highs and potentially even staying that high. So fantastic things recently for Cardano. What might happen for this one going forwards into the future? Well, nobody knows for sure, and I am not a financial advisor, but what we can do is look at some of the news, look at some of the facts, which you may find interesting, to give our opinions on Cardano going forwards. So we're going to be doing all of that in this video. If you do want to give it a like, make sure that you do, and of course if you may enjoy it as well, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We talk about Cardano not every day at the moment, but we could definitely talk about it every single day if you guys do want to see daily updates. Either way, make sure to subscribe so that when they do come out, when the updates do come out, you will be the first person to witness them. But yeah, we're going to start off looking at this price action in a bit more detail. So today, of course, we started off at midnight, this is UK time I do believe, on a price of about $1.32.6, and right now we're at about $1.38. Doesn't sound too big, but obviously when you do look at the charts, it's been picking itself up recently, and this is a big gain for Cardano, up so far today, and of course the day is not over, but we are up so far by about 5.47%, so really good that we are seeing that growth, and I think things are doing very good over the past 5 days as well. So as you might expect, the weekend was quite flat for this one, but as soon as we got into Monday, we saw pretty decent growth, and even in Sunday night we saw a bit of decent growth as well, and of course this has just continued into today, and we are seeing decent things so far. So if this one does fall a bit towards the end of the day, do remember it's only about 2:30 in England right now, so of course I'm filming this one a bit earlier in the day, but that is what we are seeing so far, and things are looking fantastic for Cardano. Another thing which is interesting is that when we look down here, we can see that volume for Cardano today so far is apparently 4.62 billion. If you look at the average volume that we do see over the past few days, we saw yesterday volume of about 4.92 billion, we saw the day before volume of about 3.64 billion, and on all of these flat days we saw volume of about 2.5, 3 billion. So again, high 2 billion, 3 billion range we can see when the volume is pretty low. So that just gives us a bit of perspective on what we are seeing today. Of course, a lot of steep gains have been made recently, which is fantastic. Right, so let's start off getting into the actual news that we have been seeing. We're going to start off on this interesting article which I found a few months ago in relation to Dogecoin, but the same can actually be said for Cardano, as this is generally speaking talking about all types of cryptos. So we can see the new global currency, cryptocurrency spending on the rise as transactions grow 300% in 2 years. Let's just take a minute to think about that, guys. 300% in only 2 years. That's really, really big growth. It's like 150% per year. Wow, things really are picking up for cryptos. What we are seeing in the world right now with a lot of, financial volatility, if you will, around real money, physical money that we spend, dollars, pounds, euros, we're seeing a lot of volatility around that, and people definitely are starting to think that cryptos, they could be the way forward. There are many benefits to cryptos, there are many drawbacks to cryptos, but I think this is a good sign for the industry as a whole, for the crypto market. I think it shows that things really are picking themselves up. Whether it's actually going to replace cash, traditional cash, I think it is too soon to say. Some analysts do think it is, but again, I do think there is some potential for that. But either way, this interest in cryptocurrencies as a whole is a really good thing for Cardano and for crypto in general. Right, let's move over to the site which we looked at in a previous video. The site is called Lunar Crush. It is on Twitter, so it's called Lunar Crush, social listing for cryptocurrencies. I think that name explains itself, as you can see. We're just going to be looking at what they have today on screen. So the date today is April the 13th. We can see over here top 10 trending searches as of 10:53 UTC time, April 13th. So again, that is today, and it was only published 2 hours ago. So you can see up here 3 is Dogecoin, that is okay. We can see that down here 5 is Ripple and 6 is Cardano. So basically top 10 trending searches. Cardano today so far is coming ahead of Bitcoin according to Lunar Crush. So again, Cardano is really being, quite searched by a lot of people. It's again above Bitcoin, slightly lower than Ripple XRP, but there we go. And again lower than Dogecoin, but that still does show a lot of interest in this one. If you looked at the list that we saw last time, it was like sixth or seventh on that list. So again, it hasn't really lost a lot of popularity. It is still quite popular, and if anything, it is growing popularity. Now, one thing which speaks about this as well is this other little tweet that we have from them here on their Twitter. If we can scroll down to find it, it was published about 16 hours ago, and it really does share some interesting information for Cardano and the Cardano community. So there we go, we have found it. If we look at our screens right now, we can see this really interesting piece of news. So it reads, the Cardano community has grown tremendously over the last year, with a 602% increase in social users mentioning hashtag Cardano, moving as high as 30,000 users per day. And again, information is coming from Lunar Crush. We can see they are looking forward to diving into Cardano tomorrow with whoever this is. But basically, this information is interesting. This information is really big. It's a big deal. Let's just take a minute to think about this. Cryptos as a whole are on the rise. Check, that's great for this whole industry, that's fantastic. Now if we look at this specific crypto, Cardano, their community has grown by 602% in the past year. That is amazing. And it just shows that Cardano really is picking up interest. If we look at these charts down here that they have provided, we can see here the price, the social contributors, and the volume. So social contributors is in blue. I want to take a little look at this in relation to the price because this is interesting in my opinion. So basically, as the social interest was high, the price spiked. Look, that was to be expected. Obviously, people are searching for it. People are probably wanting to buy it. People want to find out information about it, so fair enough. Now, one thing that I find interesting is that recently the amount of social contributors has fallen massively. It is currently gaining, it does look to be, but again, it has fallen. And the price is actually not related to this. It has remained quite flat over the past month or so, as we do know. Again, volume is stepping down. That is to be expected as people aren't searching for it as much. But ultimately, the price is still up. So what I'm trying to say here is, if we do have this interest continue to grow at the rate that we have seen previously, we could see Cardano continue to rally. Now again, I'm not too sure whether we are going to see this massive growth as we have seen, 30,000 users per day, 602%, but we don't need it to be that high to have a decent amount of social interest. There clearly is still a lot of social interest in it, and that is fantastic. I think going forwards, we are in a fantastic position to be in with Cardano, because yes, the interest is lower than it was previously, but it is still pretty high, and this is a really, really good thing. And we have spoken about some of the fundamentals for Cardano before. The fact they're trying to build themselves a little ecosystem is great. I think, this is just my personal belief, by the way, but I think that all cryptos should really have a little ecosystem, because let's face it, guys, if a crypto doesn't have an ecosystem, if you can't spend it, if you can't, actually use it in the real world, what is the point in having the currency? It's just a hype coin at that point, which realistically has no real world use. I think if we do want to see cryptos explode in the future, we do need to see some use for them. And Cardano is working on that use as well, which is great. So ultimately, Cardano is moving up today so far. Fantastic. Interest for this one over the past year is up big, which is great as well. And I think going forwards, we are still in a great position to be buying Cardano in my personal belief. People talk about this one being the next 100x community and potential, next 100x opportunity for investing as well. I'm not too sure whether we are going to hit 100x. I think, all it would take is a few things to happen for this one to hit 100x. but I would not be expecting that. I personally wouldn't expect that if you are going to be investing in Cardano. I could expect decent gains. I definitely could expect 2x, 3x, maybe even 4x in the next year. And again, that is a very conservative estimate, because if things do carry on at this rate, I think we're looking at a big growth, crypto for the next few years. It has a real world use. They're working on expanding that even further, and this is great. So again, interest is high, and this is good as well. So I think we're in a great position for Cardano. Tell me what you guys are doing down in the comments. I would love to hear it. Thank you for watching this video though. I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.